Okay, here's a question. Should you focus on pursuing your passions? In an appearance on the New York Times interview podcast, Miley Cyrus said she doesn't have a makeup line like everyone else because it's simply not her passion. So we were thinking, like, does this mean, like, should you really only pursue something if you're very, very passionate about it?
Yeah, I think so. Don't you guys think so? Listen, I work in television, I've written a book, and I have my own podcast, and I was passionate about those things because they were not easy, they were very hard. And if I wasn't passionate about it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I also wouldn't have felt connected and be very inauthentic when people are like, oh, you wrote a book, what's it about? I'd be like, I don't really know, I just did it because everybody else is doing it, right? And I think the bigger issue is, Miley's stepfather asked her, he's the one who posed the question, why don't you have a makeup line like everybody else? Because there are tons of celebrities with it. And she was like, that's not what I'm passionate about. And I think the bigger issue is comparing your life to others. And I love that she stand 10 toes down and be like, I'm not doing what everybody else does. If I'm not passionate about it, I'm not touching it. I think we need more integrity like that. Because there are too many people who are looking online, you're looking at somebody else's highlight reel going, oh, I want to do that because she's doing that. It's like, no.
They think they should.
What's authentic to you? What are you passionate about? Because that, it's not even ever going to feel like work, and you're going to love it. You shouldn't just do something to throw your name on it, because I think that's a disaster.
I love that. We've all been told since we were very young, follow your passion, but what if you're like not good at your passion? Like, you know, and I say that because I think a lot of people have passions, if you can even identify it. I remember people telling me in my early 20s, what's your passion? Follow your passion. I'm like, I don't know what my passion is. It's a big question we put on young people especially. But Scott Galloway, he's a big-time entrepreneur. He's a professor at NYU. He hosts the Professor G podcast. And he said, we've been telling kids the wrong thing all the way through. We shouldn't tell them follow your passion. He says, tell them follow your talents. He says, we should be really working on identifying what's your natural talent. And maybe it overlaps with a passion. Like, you're a very natural communicator. That is a natural talent of yours.
No, it wasn't natural, honey. It was terrible in the beginning. It was
No,
terrible.
But
I was passionate about it, so I did the work.
Yes, but maybe you're a rare case, because what he says is he says passion is, we're putting the cart before the horse. He believes that the better you get at something, mastering whatever it is, then your passion grows out of that. For example, he says the only people who tell you follow your passion are people who are already rich, and they probably made their money with something super boring. Right?
Oh
and so it's a really
interesting.
fascinating thing.
Interesting.
That's what he says. And he says if you're there, now he's writing from the wealth perspective, he's trying to help people earn money. But he says the idea that you follow your passion and then money comes, he says we've actually been steering kids the wrong way. Follow your talents.
Yeah,
and you
I
don't
think
always have to monetize your passion.
But what about the people, what about the doctors and the lawyers who became those things because their parents wanted them to become it, and then they leave those professions to follow their passion?
I have a friend who's a surgeon.
Because they were so miserable at their job.
I have a friend who is a really prolific surgeon in this city. And he is very, very honest. He says, I am so good at surgery. My mind is made to fix people. He doesn't like his job. But what he does like...
That's a recipe for burnout, in my opinion.
He does it with full gusto. He's been doing it very well. It allows him to do his passion, which is DJing. So he loves what he does.
Interesting.
I don't know if I want an unpassionate surgeon opening me up. I want you to be passionate.
No, but I want a
talent.
But he's talented.
Can we get the two?
Yeah, maybe.
I remember when I worked at Maclean's, I started off as, like, for all intents and purposes, the secretary, and desperately wanted to be a writer. And one of the editors there sort of said, hey, be careful about wanting to do something for a living that you really, really love, because it might take some of the joy out of it. You know what I mean? Which is, I thought was, I didn't listen to her, but but in retrospect, I get it. Like, when it becomes a job, you know what I mean? I think it's interesting.
But there's only so much time in our lives, and I think as we get older, if you don't follow the things that light you up. And I think that's what we're saying and referring to when we're talking about passion. It's like, what fires you up? If you aren't following those, you're gonna lose out on time doing those types of things, to me. And I think one indicator, if people are sitting around going like, what is it? I don't even know what my passion is. If you get jealous when you're scrolling on anything like that, that's a good indicator of something that you're a passion that you're not following. Like, it's a little highlight.
Like an unlived life?
Yeah, that could be fake boobs for me.
No, I don't think you feel that way about fake boobs.
I love them sometimes.
But do you feel
jealous?
No,
Well,
but-
yeah.
but here's the deal, but
Really? I don't
no.
think that's necessary. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, that's not a career. I mean, when you're watching somebody doing something and you're like, oh, you have a reaction.
I see,
I
yeah.
think that means that there's something
I
that they're
could do
doing.
that.
Exactly.
Or see, and I hear what you're saying, but I think when you get that little pang of jealousy, that means that you're not following what you're
That's
supposed
what I
to
mean.
do. Not
I'm
what
saying
that
the same
person.
thing.
Okay, not what that person's
Yeah,
doing.
100%.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Well, listen, we've solved the world's problems, and I think, you know what? I am just so refreshed. I find it refreshing that someone who's already got gajillion dollars isn't trying to try to start a new business to make another gajillion dollars. So you know what, Miley Cyrus, good on you.
Yeah, yeah.
She's got
We all
enough
love
money
that.
and she's happy with it.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.